Have you ever wondered why you can follow all of the right healing protocols and still feel stuck in flares? Are you tired of feeling like your own thoughts turn against you the moment symptoms show up? Well, what if I told you that the words you speak, both out loud and silently, are shaping your healing more than you even realize? If that sounds like you, you're not alone. So many women with lupus and autoimmune conditions are doing everything they can physically without realizing how much their internal dialogue is keeping their nervous system on high alert. Welcome back to the Health Bridge podcast. I'm your host, Holly B. I'm a holistic health guide for women with lupus and autoimmune conditions who are ready to move beyond symptom management and create real sustainable healing. In today's episode, we're talking about the words that heal, how your language affects your nervous system, your immune system, and your ability to feel safe and supported inside your own body. By the end of today's episode, you'll understand how to shift your self-talk in a way that calms inflammation, builds trust within the body, and supports healing instead of stress. Make sure you stick around to the end because we're answering the question, how can changing the words I use actually change how my body feels? This episode is the fourth in my Mind Filler miniseries, where we are diving into the science behind mindset, how it affects your ability to heal, and we're giving you some really easy, practical steps that you can take to completely shift the way you experience your autoimmune symptoms and actually set the stage for healing. And today we're going to be diving into why language is a healing tool and why it's not just about positive thinking. In my most recent podcast episode with Richmond Heath, we talk all about the nervous system and how it first responds with movement. So the bear is charging at us. What happens first? Our body responds by pumping our adrenaline. Our eyes dilate. Our heart starts quickening and beating faster. That is the first response from the nervous system. A split second later, our mind catches up with what's going on in our body, and then it puts feelings into words to describe what it thinks is happening. So, bear charging, adrenaline, heart pumping, eyes dilate. Then the mind goes, oh, crap, there's a bear charging at me. I'm freaking out right now. Right? So, language is then used to interpret the safety or the threat that our nervous system is responding to, which creates a feedback loop within the body from the mind to the physiology. So your body doesn't just analyze words logically. It responds to the tone, the meaning, and the repetition of the words that we're using and the thoughts that we're having. So the phrases, what I want you to get here is that the phrases you use actually become instructions to your immune system. Every word that you speak creates chemistry in the body. And I don't say this at all to create trepidation here or blame. I just want you to use this knowledge to invite awareness of the word choices that you are using. Judgmental or fear-based language increases those stress hormones, increases that fight or flight nervous system response, while compassionate, empowering language is going to support regulation and repair. Also, just to be super clear here, when we are talking about language and mindset being used as a healing tool, this is not about being fake positive or using toxic positivity and just putting on rose-colored glasses and pretending everything is okay. That song, Don't Worry, Be Happy, comes to mind. Well, yeah, but if I can't pay my bills and my loved one is in the hospital, how am I supposed to just not be worried and be happy, right? It doesn't work like that. Healing language is still honest language because the nervous system knows when you're lying, right? It knows when you're trying to pull the wool over its eyes. But Healing language is also supportive. Okay. So it's honest, but it's said in a supportive manner versus a doomsday manner. In other words, you're not denying your symptoms, you're just changing how your body experiences them. Language is the bridge between mindset and physiology, and it starts with nervous system triggers. So your thoughts about the trigger become words and feelings. Those words and feelings become signals to your nervous system. And then those signals can become symptoms or they can help to promote your healing. So, how does harmful language keep autoimmune symptoms stuck? Well, there are lots of common phrases that I hear with people that I converse with online, with my clients. These are common phrases that really activate stress without women even realizing it. Things like, my body is attacking me. I'm broken. I will never get better. I can't trust my body, right? Have you said these things to yourself? I know I certainly have. The nervous system hears these types of phrases and this type of wording as danger and a signal to be hypervigilant. When we keep repeating these phrases over and over to ourselves, it really locks the body into survival mode and immune overreaction.
Hey, I just wanted to jump in here and interrupt the program for just a hot minute. You know that I'm so passionate about this podcast, but what I'm also really passionate about is helping women with lupus minimize their symptoms, boost their energy so that they can indulge in life again. So if you are a woman who is struggling with lupus, who is sick and tired of being sick and tired, who's struggling to manage your flares, if you're finding that your lupus symptoms are just really getting in the way of you being able to live your life the way you want to, I feel you. I've been there myself and I felt the same way. And what I've found is that there are a certain set of health fundamentals that once applied, will support you in your foundational health. They will support you in building and maintaining that energy, minimizing flares, and allowing you to, again, indulge in life and follow your passions. So, if that is something that you are interested in creating for yourself, let's jump on a call together. I will walk you through the process that I use with my clients to get them from sick and tired to strong foundation of health by implementing my Health Bridge protocol. If this is something you're interested in chatting more about, I would love to talk to you. Apply for a free clarity call with me, and I look forward to getting to know you soon. And now back to the episode.
These phrases are very identity based. So we're looking at identity based language as an especially powerful type of wording. So phrases like, I am sick or owning your disease, right? We tend to, in the autoimmune community, refer to it as my lupus or my chronic fatigue or my fibromyalgia, right? You're owning that disease with that language instead of saying, I'm healing from illness or I'm experiencing lupus. Identity drives behavior and then the physiology follows. So when I see women all the time that are wearing their conditions like a badge of honor, I see them listing all of their conditions in their Instagram bio to identify themselves as these things. And they are seeing these labels as how they relate to the world. And I just want you to be very aware that there's a really fine line, I think, of respecting our current reality, being honest about where we are, as we talked about earlier, and educating others on how to relate to you or what they can expect of your physical abilities when you have an illness. And then they're stepping over that line to like grasping on and holding on so tightly to that box of that illness or that label and allowing it to define who you are and allowing it to define the possibilities in your life. And this explains why so many women are quote unquote doing everything right, but they're still flaring. Healing actions, they can't override constant internal threat signals. And this specifically is why I speak so much to the power of mindset and language in your healing journey. It is an essential part of the process in getting towards remission and beyond. So let's learn how to rewrite your healing with language that creates safety and partnership. And we're going to break this down into 4 parts. So this flows really directly from the second episode in this mini series called Stop Fighting Your Body, How to Partner with It Instead. We're really building on this theme of partnership with your body in your healing process, as opposed to fighting and attacking the condition that you have. The first part is to shift from using enemy language to partnership language. For example, my body is attacking me would be considered enemy language. Shifting that to my body is responding to something and asking for support. See how that energy shifts and how you can look at it from a whole different perspective with just those tiny little word changes. Second part would be to shift from permanence to process. This is just how it is now. My autoimmune condition will be with me forever. Shifting that towards a process-based language would be my body is in a healing process. As in, it allows flow, it allows shift, it allows change, as opposed to being something that is set in stone. The third part would be to shift from judgment to curiosity. Instead of what is wrong with me, shift it to what is my body communicating right now? What does my body need from me right now? And the fourth part is to shift from fear-based future talk to grounded in the present talk. So, what if this never ends? What if this is my life forever? Shifts to what does my body need today in this moment? I don't know if you can feel it when I'm speaking these things, but if you're repeating them after me, I can feel my shoulders drop a little bit. I can feel my body exhaling because it takes that pressure off of looking at, 5, 10, 20 years down the future to, well, what can I do right now today to help my body feel more supported?
Really quick, Holly B here. I just wanted to interrupt the podcast to ask you for a quick favor. Can you take just a moment to like and subscribe to this podcast on whatever platform you are listening in on? It makes a world of a difference. And the reach of this podcast, it takes like literally under 10 seconds. So go do that right now. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And now back to the episode.
Let's talk about practicing this in real time, because it's one thing to have the theories, right? But we have to learn how to put them into action. So let's go over how to rewire your language in the moment in 5 easy steps. Step 1 is to catch the flare phrase. Flare phrase being any of those that we discussed earlier, like my body is attacking me. This is just how it is now. What is wrong with me? What if this never ends? That would be your flare phrase. And it's nice to label that as a flare phrase because it makes it easier for you to catch, right? So think about words that could end with a period. Always, period. Never, period. Broken, period. Ruined, period. Can't, period. Right? I will always be like this. I will always be struggling with this condition, period. My body is broken, period. I can't go for a long walk, period. Right? Those are words that bring awareness to the fact that you are in a flare phrase. Step 2, once you recognize that, is just to pause and breathe. A 3-second pause will signal safety to your nervous system and say it doesn't need to react immediately. It can take a step back. And then step 3 is just to replace that flare phrase with one supportive sentence. And don't worry about making it perfect. Just make sure that's a little bit kinder, a little bit more true, a little bit more honest and supportive, right? I will always be like this. I will always be struggling. Shifts to I'm dealing with this right now, but it might be different tomorrow. Something as simple as that can make a huge shift in your nervous system. Step 4 would then be just to anchor that new sentence, that supportive sentence in the body. Just put your hand to your chest or your hand to your belly. Feel yourself breathe. And it signals, again, safety to your nervous system. It signals that we got this. We don't need to be hypervigilant here. We don't need to overreact. And step 5 would just be to repeat this daily. Daily be aware, especially during your flares, what thoughts, what words, what narrative is coming up for you, and to catch them sooner and shift that phrase, shift to that supportive sentence. Okay. It's this repetition that truly rewires your baseline regulation with your nervous system. I have seen not only myself make major shifts once I changed the languaging that I was using and learned how to start catching those phrases, those flare phrases that I had on repeat at all times, running through my head, either through my head or out my mouth on the regular. It's like we just get stuck in this mental loop. And the nervous system, the brain is actually designed that way. But we can intentionally put a stop to that system. We can intentionally learn to step off of that negative thought spiral hamster wheel, and we can create new grooves. We can create a new path to follow. We can create new feedback loops with supportive statements. And over time, the old ones fade out and the new ones get so much easier, and you get to catch those flare phrases so much quicker. And I've seen clients who have stopped saying, I can't trust my body. I've seen them experience less anxiety. Their anxiety goes down. Anxiety reduction alone will reduce flares. Stress reduction alone will reduce flares. Clients who have replaced I'm exhausted with my body is conserving energy to heal. My body is asking for rest right now. It helps to stop the emotional spiral that would normally go along with those flares. And clients who stop narrating their illness as permanent, they feel so much more hopeful. I know I did. That was my own personal experience as well. And again, the more consistently you can shift these narratives, the more everything improves. Hope is important in your healing journey. Hope is not fluff, right? It's not fluff, but it does need action in order to support hope. So hope rises as you create these supportive statements, as you catch your flare phrases when they come up, and it generates more hope, which is truly a nervous system state. It is an elevated emotional, energetic state. And that is what we are working on here. We talked in the last solo episode about radical responsibility. And I want to talk about why using language is a radical responsibility practice. Radical responsibility is not just actions, it's also about taking internal leadership. Because choosing your words is truly guiding how your body experiences the world. And what is so great about this is that it's one of the most accessible ways that women can take responsibility without adding overwhelm. You're not adding anything to your plate, you're just shifting which thought you use. You're leading yourself moment to moment, and you're taking back control over your health journey with each word that you choose. I love it so much. This is, again, why it's such an important part of working with my clients is really, really setting them on this path first. Before we do any other lifestyle changes, it starts with mindset and language. Because you create autonomy in your health journey when you shift your identity from being a sick body to a healing body. The language you use, it changes your identity. And identity changes your behavior because your behavior follows it. And that behavior in turn starts changing your physiology. And this is how healing becomes truly sustainable and not forced. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you are walking away with a new awareness of how powerful your words really are. And not as pressure to be positive, but as a daily opportunity to support your nervous system and partner with your body in a gentler and more effective way. If this episode resonated with you and you're ready to put these mindset shifts into action, I'd love to support you further. You can apply for a free healing breakthrough call with me using the link in the show notes, where we will look at how your language and your habits and your nervous system patterns might be impacting your health and your healing. And if you haven't already, be sure to download my free daily lupus guide and symptom tracker. It's applicable to all autoimmune conditions, and it's a simple but really powerful tool to help you start noticing patterns and building up awareness without overwhelm. So if you missed the first 3 episodes in this Mind Pillar mini-series, I'll have the playlist linked down below. So be sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications wherever you're listening to this so you don't miss the last episode in this series, which is coming up really soon. Until next time, take a deep breath, speak kindly to yourself, and keep building your bridge back to health.